Brought to you by Penguin.
Poor, written and read by me, Katriona O'Sullivan. Prologue. I heard what the doctor said, and so did my dad. But by the time we went down the 2 flights of stairs and out into the portico, my father had reshuffled the cards. If you give up smoking now, Tony, the oncologist had said, you've got a good chance of beating this. Dad pulled out a cigarette as soon as our feet got over the entrance. He lit up, pushed the lighter back among the cigarettes in the box of Benson's, and put it back into the pocket of his shirt. He always wore short-sleeved check shirts, my dad. I stared at him in disbelief. He noticed and lifted his chin, put his shoulders back, dragged on his cigarette, and blew the smoke out through his nose. Dad. He switched his grip, changed the cigarette from between 2 fingers to his finger and thumb. He broadened his shoulders again, straightened up. He was not a tall man, so this was how he got height between you when he got defensive. The doctor said you have to give up smoking, Dad, I said. But he shook his head, pressed his mouth into a line. He looked away. No, that's not what he said. My father was well-spoken. I have to cut back a bit, that's all. Jesus Christ. Tony O'Sullivan, my dad, was gone in less than a year. But I lost him right there, standing right there outside the hospital, in his cloud of smoke and denial. For me, it was all over. I could say I snapped, but that's not the truth. I unfurled, in the way those huge cables that hold up bridges do during an earthquake. The thousands of wires, all the little connections I had made to this man, they quietly snapped one by one. All the people I had ever been, the 3-year-old, the 7-year-old, the 15-year-old me, we all stood there staring, finally realising, finally getting it. He doesn't care. We are unloved. He doesn't care. Nothing mattered to Tony O'Sullivan. I didn't. Standing in front of the hospital, heartbroken at the news that my father was so ill. Realising that his plan was to smoke himself to death. Nobody mattered to him and never had. Not us kids, not my mother, not our childhood or the struggle. None of it. At that moment, nothing mattered to Tony except that smoke in his hand. He knew it. I knew it. Everything we'd ever been through meant, fuck's sake, nothing to him. None of it. None of us. My dad was an addict, and as all those dreamed-up attachments I had made through wishful thinking twisted and fell away, I was left standing on the far side, the furthest I had ever been from this impossible man, this waste of brains and spirit. This man I had spent my whole life desperately loving. He lived for his addictions, those cigarettes, like his heroin, booze and women. My dad's addictions were him. He flicked his cigarette ash and it landed on the ground between us. I looked at it. There was not going to be a eureka moment, not for Tony. He would free fall into this fire until the end. There was nothing I could do about it. He was not going to rise from the ashes. All of this, all of it, had been for nothing. I was the only phoenix. The only one of the 2 of us who would make it out of this mess. The changes, the lessons, the climb out of the stinking trench I was born into, that was just for me. Just me. Just me. And that is the saddest thing I ever knew. Chapter 1. There are memories I want to keep. Memories I'm happy to talk about. Sitting in the rear seat of my dad's green Cortina in the summer, looking at the back of his head, his mop of curls, window down, his brown arm resting on the door with a cigarette between his fingers. The way the rushing air hits my face like a fan, my hair whips against my cheeks. My dad's tapes are playing, my whole family are singing, my dad's gold ring tapping against the metal. And there are memories I want to let go of, ones I find hard to talk about. Memories that weigh me down. I want to tell you about those too, so I can leave them here and move on from them. Standing, age 6, at the door of my parents' bedroom looking in. My eyes hadn't adjusted to the light, not quite. So I couldn't figure out what I was looking at. Then I could. My dad was on his bed at an angle.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?